All right, what is up guys? So welcome to the repair section of the course. Finally, we are here and we are finally going to be repairing a rock chip. Now, this is my personal car. As you can see, coincidentally, I have a rock chip in my windshield that is perfect for us to actually go over and show you guys exactly how to repair a rock chip. So in this module, we're going to be splitting it up in different sections. I didn't want to do just one long video of me actually repairing a rock chip because there are little details inside of there that I need to explain to you guys. So I wanted to make it a lot easier by just splitting up all of these videos. So in this first video, we're going to be setting up and actually getting set up and ready to do a rock chip repair, as well as talking about the UV protection that we need. So let's go ahead and get started. We have the vehicle in here. Obviously we are in my garage right now, and I'll kind of touch on that here in a minute, why exactly I wanted to do that. But we are in the garage, we have the vehicle, and we're gonna go ahead and get set up. Considering that everything is fine, we talked to the customer, let's pretend that this is a customer. We talked to the customer, the repair or the rock chip is repairable, we know that we can repair it, and we are on the job now. So considering all of that, we're gonna go ahead and get set up. So first thing is we want to actually set up our tools, right? So what I like to do is grab a microfiber hood protector. So this is just a towel, basically. I got it on Amazon. I talk about it in the course a little bit, but essentially this is just a towel. All it is a microfiber towel, and we're gonna use this as a hood protector. So we'll go ahead and open it up. I'm gonna place it on the vehicle where I'm gonna be leaning over. So I like to place it right on top of the hood, and then I like to use the windshield wipers to hold it in place. That way it doesn't slide everywhere. So put it right under the windshield wiper, place it over the hood. This is where I'm gonna be leaning over the vehicle to actually do the repair. I don't wanna scratch up the paint, so I wanted to have a little bit of a protection there. That way we don't ruin the vehicle or ruin the customer's car. So we have this here. Now what I like to do personally is grab my toolbox of all my repair tools. Whatever you're using, you could be using a toolbox or just, have everything separate, whatever the case may be. But I like to grab my toolbox and actually set it on top of the vehicle. Now, this is one of those things where people like to do it, don't like to do it, they don't want to do it. I haven't had an issue with it ever. Sometimes customers will really care about their vehicle and they don't want you to put this on top of their hood. They don't want you to scratch it, of course. They don't want to scratch the paint, but I've never had an issue scratching the paint. I've never had any problems. What I like to do is just keep it really, gentle. I like to just throw it on there, or gently put it on there, not throw it on there. But I don't like to move it or anything. I just kind of like have it here. That way I can use all my tools here. I have everything accessible while I'm working on the vehicle here. So again, haven't had much of an issue, but if you would rather put the toolbox right here beside you on the ground or on like a little stool or something, whatever the case, whatever works best for you, doesn't really matter too much. But me personally, I like to put it right here because I like to have it right in front of me. So we're set up here. We have our toolbox, we have our hood protector. Now there's one more thing that is very important before we actually start doing the repair, and that is UV protection. So obviously we are in my garage right now, right? I don't have any UV actually hitting the glass. There is no direct sunlight on the glass. I'm not sure if you can see from that side, but this is where the rock chip is right here. You'll obviously see it here in a bit, but I don't have any UV directly on the windshield. The sun isn't directly hitting the windshield, so I'm not really worried about that right now. So considering that you're outside and you need UV protection before you start to work on the vehicle, because you need UV protection before you actually do the windshield repair, I like to use something that is called the Get a Grip umbrella. This is an umbrella that I talk about in the course where I think you should get because it will help you out a lot. I like to use this to set up on the vehicle. That way I can protect the chip from any UV light hitting it. So to kind of show you what that is, all it is an umbrella, as you can see, that has a clamp right here. So if you can kind of check that out, it has just a clamp and a suction cup that I use. Now, I like to place this on the vehicle, but in a certain spot. I don't like to put it on the actual glass because if I do, it does give a little bit of tension on the glass while I'm working on the glass. I don't want any tension on the glass. I don't want to disrupt the repair while I'm working on it. So what I like to do is actually put it on the vehicle. So I'll move this for a minute. I like to actually put it on the hood right here and just try to protect the actual repair from any light hitting it. So I'll go ahead and just mount it real fast. And then I can adjust this wherever I need it to be, wherever the sun is coming and hitting it, and I can just set that up just like that. So I can have that there and make sure that no UV light is actually hitting the windshield. It also helps me too on sunny days, hot days, keeping me out of the sun. So we're obviously not going to use it right now because we're in a garage and there's no point. So I can go ahead and do this and set back up. So that is how I like to set up. Hopefully that kind of explains things. Again, to kind of recap, what I like to do is make sure I'm protecting the vehicle. I am not putting any tools on the paint. I'm not putting any tools on the windshield, especially if I have a customer watching or anything. I like to actually have a protector on the hood so I'm not scratching up the vehicle, scratching up the paint. I want to make sure that the vehicle is in a shaded area, or if I don't have a shaded area and there's sun hitting the windshield, I like to use a umbrella. If I don't have an umbrella, then try to get it in a shaded area. If you can't get it in a shaded area, you can also use microfiber towels to put over the repair while you're working on it, which I'll kind of show you here in a bit. But ideally, you want to make sure that you don't have any UV light hitting the windshield before you actually start working on the vehicle. One more thing that I like to do, let's pretend that this is outside and I am in the sun. It's a hot 90-degree day. I also like to open up the door, as you can see, and let it air out because I don't want there to be a lot of heat inside of the vehicle. That creates a lot of tension on the glass. So if I can open up the door to kind of let all that hot air come out, then it definitely will be helpful and prevent the chip from cracking out while I'm working on it. So not that big of a deal. I can also roll down the windows if I need to, whatever the case may be. But I always like to get the car unlocked. That way I can open up the door and let all the heat out. If it's a cold day, doesn't necessarily matter. This is really only because it is hot outside and I want to make sure I can get all that hot air out of the vehicle before I start to work on it. So other than that, that is about it for setting up to do a windshield repair. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and get into actually repairing the rock chip. So I'll see you guys in the next one.